Hey guys, I'm here today with a review on This Brilliant Darkness by Tash. I assume that's how you say the author's name. I probably should have checked, but this is an exciting one because I got this book after I had contacted the author on Goodreads because she was looking for people to review her book. And I kind of read the description or whatever info she had, and it sounded like something I would like. So I volunteered to do it, and she was nice enough to send me this actual copy because I think it was originally for like a Kindle giveaway kind of thing, but I'm like the last person who doesn't have an e-reader and doesn't know how that works. So she was kind enough to actually send me a real copy. Hopefully I'll get an e-reader for Christmas, but that's not for a story for another day. So anyway, this book is probably going to be kind of hard to describe, so bear with me. But it is about a girl named Christine who is a professor in this small college town in Indiana, I think. So, you know, somewhere in Midwest. And there is this star that has appeared in the sky, of course. And it's odd because, first of all, it appeared out of nowhere. And you can only see it in this town. If you leave, you cannot find it. It's not in the sky. And it also doesn't move or come and go with the day and the night. It's there all the time. And so we have Christine and we have her boyfriend Tom. And we have, actually, side note, there's a list of the characters and kind of like a brief description in the beginning, which I love when books do that, because you kind of get confused sometimes, especially with some like more minor characters. And there's also a map of the town. I don't always pay a lot of attention to, but it's always nice to have it there as a reference if you're into maps and that kind of thing. So we have Christine, we have Tom, and then we have Christine's teaching assistant is her name Junie, I think. God, I don't know why I don't like remember these things before I do this review. Then there's Richard, who is actually a online friend of Christine's. He lived in England, I assume. It's far away somewhere, England-ish. And he studies, I don't think he usually does astronomy, but he's into that kind of like physics thing. And so it turns out he's actually coming to that town to study it, and so they meet. And then there's Tristan, who is one of Christine's students and kind of mysterious, and we don't know much about him. And even the description doesn't tell you much about him, so he's kind of a surprise. And then we have this monk, who's kind of, you know, separated from this main group. And then we have Gretchen. That's how I said it in my head, at least. I'm assuming that's how you say it. And he is some kind of creature, and he's evil and kind of strange and scary. And you don't really know what his deal is at first. And so anyway, that's kind of your main cast of characters, and it's kind of hard to even describe the plot. Just that the star is kind of an omen of things that are going to happen, and it's got religious tones to it, and Gretchen's kind of evil, or the devil, or at least that's my take on it, and he's there to kill Christine. And so everybody else plays their parts in this. Mostly unknowingly, and they all get dragged into this weird stuff happening, and Christine just thinks she's going crazy, and then pretty soon everyone else thinks they're going crazy, and you really get that feeling throughout the book, like all this stuff's happening and you don't know what it is. It really leaves you in the dark, and you kind of feel like you're going crazy too. And yeah, so it's a good book. The writing was really good, the story was interesting, but I personally can't say that I loved it, just because it wasn't my kind of thing. It bounced around from whose point of view the story was, so like each chapter was a different person, which I'm not crazy about, but I know a lot of authors do it, and it's okay. The chapters were really short, which I usually like, but I thought that with this, you didn't get to know the characters very well, because they were so short and there was so much happening, so you weren't like real invested in anybody, but it kept things moving along. And then I didn't like that, since Gretchen is this kind of like creature, the little chapters from his point of view were kind of like abstract and just like thoughts here and there, and you didn't really know what was going on, which definitely got across, I think, the point that I was trying to make, and how he was thinking, and kept you wondering. But I guess I kind of like things spelled out for me more and a little more obvious, and I don't like to have to think too much. So yeah, I wasn't a huge fan, but it was good. I thought the writing was really good. It kept you interested. There was a definite sense of humor to it. There was a whole bunch of like Star Trek references. What was it called? I think it was called Star Trails, and there were like plays on words. And I think there was either a couple like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy references, which I'm not sure if they were intentional, but I assume they were. So I love that. So that made me laugh. So yeah, I don't know if this review made any sense, but I hope you kind of got an idea of what it's about. And if you're into the kind of like, I guess it's sci-fi, creatures and some religion and friends and all this kind of stuff mixed together, and if it sounds interesting, you should definitely read it, check it out. I think it's a worthwhile read. And just see if you can get a grasp on what's going on. You always wonder, like, because for a while you even think, like, are they going crazy? Is this really happening? And it's just weird. It's a weird book, but in a good way. So, yeah, I hope that sort of made sense. Let me see if my notes have anything else. Not really. I think that's kind of it. So, yes, go check it out if you're into sci-fi or whatever I guess this book would be considered. It was different. It was different and interesting, and I hope you like it. If you've read it or if you're going to read it, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys later.